Welcome to Global Watch. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The global automotive industry is undergoing a seismic shift, sparked by China and now shaking showrooms worldwide. The old dominance of American, European and Japanese giants is being upended at breakneck speed. At the center of this disruption, the electric vehicle, and a new champion, BYD. Once Tesla was the face of the EV revolution. Now, BYD has overtaken it, outselling Tesla in global EV sales and extending its lead. This isn't a fluke. BYD's rise is the result of years of vertical integration, cost control, and a mission to make EVs affordable for all. BYD's CEO, Wang Chuanfu, declared the industry at a tipping point. Companies that fail to adapt will be left behind. The result? A ferocious price war threatening weaker players and reshaping the entire supply chain. For consumers, this means cheaper, tech-packed cars. For workers and governments, it means uncertainty and new challenges. The rise of BYD is more than a business story. It's a geopolitical and technological milestone that will define the future of mobility. The old order is fading fast. A new era is being forged in the crucible of competition. The BYD-Tesla rivalry is a clash of philosophies. Tesla, the Silicon Valley disruptor, made EVs aspirational and high-tech, while BYD, born as a battery maker, focused on affordability and mass-market appeal. Tesla's premium brand and direct sales model set the early pace, but BYD's mastery of battery tech and vertical integration gave it a unique edge. BYD's Blade battery slashed costs, while Tesla struggled with supply chains. The turning point came in late 2023, when BYD outsold Tesla in pure EVs for the first time. Since then, BYD has widened its lead, shifting the dynamic. Tesla is now the hunted, not the hunter. BYD's aggressive pricing is forcing the industry to rethink what matters most. Affordability, not just prestige or performance. The global EV race is no longer about luxury, it's about who can deliver the future to the masses. The rules have changed. The world is watching. BYD's rise was no accident. It's the product of a relentless long-term strategy. In 2025, BYD's sales soared, with over 1.6 million EVs delivered, outpacing Tesla quarter after quarter. The game changer. BYD's dramatic price cuts, like the Seagull hatchback dropping to under $8,000, making EVs as affordable as gas cars. The market reacted instantly. Stocks tumbled, rivals scrambled. BYD's global push now spans 70-plus countries, targeting Europe, Southeast Asia, and Africa with affordable, high-quality vehicles. Launches like the Celian 5 in South Africa show BYD's intent to disrupt established brands everywhere. While BYD slashed prices, Tesla raised them, highlighting their divergent strategies. With US tax credits expiring, Tesla faces new headwinds as BYD's accessible EVs gain ground. BYD has rewritten the rules. Volume and accessibility now rival brand prestige and tech. The throne is BYD's, for now. China's auto market is a battleground, home to 169 automakers fighting for survival. BYD's deep price cuts ignited a chain reaction. Rivals slashed prices, margins vanished, and the entire supply chain felt the squeeze. Industry leaders warn of a coming bloodbath. A wave of bankruptcies and consolidation. Great Wall Motors chairman compared the crisis to the Evergrande collapse, signaling imminent upheaval. Analysts see BYD's moves as the first domino, putting immense pressure on weaker startups and traditional brands. This fierce competition is pushing Chinese automakers to expand globally, seeking relief from razor-thin margins at home. The price war that started in China is now being exported worldwide. Battle-hardened Chinese brands are challenging Western and Japanese giants on their own turf. The global auto landscape will never be the same. China's price war is shaking markets worldwide, forcing a reckoning in Europe, the US, and beyond. European automakers, long focused on premium quality, now face stylish, affordable Chinese EVs like the BYD Seal and Dolphin. In the US, the end of federal EV tax credits and Tesla's price hikes risk making EVs less accessible, even as Chinese brands influence the market from afar. American automakers must cut costs and innovate to stay competitive. In emerging markets, Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, BYD's affordable, tech-rich vehicles are upending decades of Japanese and European dominance. local brands and assembly plants are under pressure as consumers flock to new options. Chinese automakers are also raising the bar for technology, offering features like large touchscreens and advanced driver assistance as standard. Global consumer expectations are shifting. Value and tech are now non-negotiable. Every automaker, from Volkswagen to Toyota, must adapt or risk falling behind. The industry's evolution is accelerating. Auto industry leaders are sounding dire warnings. This is no ordinary downturn. BYD's CEO calls it a Darwinian struggle, innovate or be left behind. Great Wall Motors chairman likens the sector's crisis to Evergrande, hinting at imminent collapse. Analysts predict a deliberate purge. In that brynen. Be that the not BYD's. Price cuts are squeezing weaker rivals out of existence. Smaller startups and undercapitalized brands are most at risk, unable to match prices or fund vital R&D. Even in the US, the end of EV rebates and shifting demand signal, tough times ahead. The affordability gap between American and Asian European EVs is widening. The next quarters will reveal which companies can survive without government support. The industry's future hangs in the balance. For consumers, the price war is a windfall. EVs like the BYD Seagull are now as cheap as gas cars packed with advanced tech. More choices, better features, and lower prices are the new norm. But this paradise has risks. Bankruptcies will leave some owners stranded with plummeting car values and uncertain support. The human cost is real. Factory closures, layoffs, and supply chain turmoil threaten jobs worldwide. Small part suppliers are especially vulnerable as automakers demand ever lower prices. Market integrity is also at risk, with some companies inflating sales through questionable tactics. Desperate measures signal deeper instability. Consumers may get deals today, but tomorrow's landscape is uncertain. The shakeup is creating winners and losers at every level. The industry's future is anything but guaranteed. The auto shakeup is now a geopolitical contest, not just an economic one. Chinese automakers like BYD threaten a century of Western and Japanese dominance, sparking trade tensions worldwide. The US uses tariffs to shield its market, but risks falling behind in innovation and cost efficiency. Europe faces a dilemma: protect iconic brands or embrace free trade and risk a flood of cheap Chinese EVs. At stake is not just market share, but technological leadership in batteries, software, and AI. China's government has invested heavily in EVs, making them a pillar of its global tech ambitions. As Chinese brands expand into new regions, they're exporting technology and forging new alliances. For developing nations, affordable Chinese EVs offer modernization, but also new dependencies. The battle for the car is a battle for global influence. The outcome will shape the world order. The auto industry is in its most transformative era in a century. BYD's rise and the price war signal a permanent reordering. Consolidation, mergers, and bankruptcies are inevitable. For consumers, fierce competition means lower prices and more features, but also uncertainty as weaker brands disappear. Once the dust settles, fewer, larger players may dominate, potentially reducing choice and raising prices. Legacy automakers must evolve rapidly, cutting costs, investing in tech, and making tough strategic choices. Agility and innovation are now survival skills. The shakeup proves no industry is immune to disruption. The future belongs to those who can deliver sustainable, accessible, and advanced mobility. The race is on, and the only certainty is change. The cars and companies of tomorrow will be nothing like those of today.